Hey, Kool-aid Krew, what's crack-a-lackin'? I'm glad we get on here a little bit earlier tonight than what I thought we were going to end up being. And there was a great show over on Marfugal, guys. Everybody go over and check that out. I left the link there in the chat. Hey, Kool-aid Krew, what's crack-a-lackin'? Ha ha ha, rookie mistake. Anyway, so I'm going to jump right in this. Somebody give me a 5 for 5, and we will get with this, man. If you know what I'm saying, man. Alright, here we go. Yeah, guys, we've got some pretty significant stuff here to take a look at. Guys, we got another substantial coronal hole facing Earth. And that's a hole in the corona. This is Earth. That's the scale. That is to scale. So, if that gives you any kind of idea how big these holes can get in the atmosphere of the sun, the black is actually the surface of the sun. It's colder than the atmosphere. That's why it's a darker color in these images. These are extreme ultraviolet. This is the 211 angstrom only. That's all you can see is that wavelength of light in this particular satellite image. And so when we're looking at this is actually from our point of view also. That is from SDO. Okay. It's in geosynchronistic orbit, which means nothing more than it just stays over the same part of our planet at all times, and it orbits the Earth at the same speed as we rotate around our axis, which is 15 degrees an hour. This is the same satellite, but this is a different angstrom of light. Yeah, and that's so as we get going here, you can see that this is the 304, and we look at this one mainly to see the plasma. And I know that plasma, that word gets used very, very loosely. I use it pretty loose here because you start getting into like technical aspects of, you know, the state of matter and all those kinds of things. It can get deep really, really quick. So most people that are going to report this kind of thing to you guys, space weather, is going to keep it very general when they start talking about those types of words. Plasma is nothing more, and this is as simple as I can make it. It's nothing more than a charged gas. The particles in the gas have a charge. Okay, there's 4 states of matter. Plasma is the 4th one, a charged gas. It comes after gas. So you got solid, liquid, gas. And when I was in school, if I remember correctly, they didn't add plasma until, I can't remember how old I was. And I could be incorrect on that, but I don't remember ever hearing about like plasma as the 4th state of matter until I was like in middle school or something. But again, I was young, so I might not really. I need to go see when they actually added that 4th state of matter. That's probably a really quick Google search. I could probably figure that out real quick. But anyway, guys, as you guys can see this, again, this is the 304. And when I say a magnetic rope ripped off the sun, that's exactly what happens. Okay, so when we're looking at this, that's why I got you on this angstrom of light. Remember, it is just that angstrom of extreme ultraviolet light that you can see here. No other light is being shown. So we do this to get a specific visual. It sees specific gases. Okay, different gases show up in different angstroms of light, and it has been one of those things that has really changed, well, science, space, everything that we understand about it in a very big way. When you can see something with your eyes and really visualize it and get to understand, hey, they're talking about something ripping off the sun. Well, I'll go outside and I can look up at the sun, you know, with some sunglasses. I ain't seeing nothing rip off the sun. Well, you're not going to. It's 93 million miles away. If you see something rip off the sun, you better put your head between your legs and pucker up, because you can kiss your butt goodbye. Because that's exactly what will be happening if you can naked eye see something rip off the sun coming your way. Okay, it would just yeah. I'll just leave it at that. Now remember, everything is connected to the sun in our solar system. Okay, you know, as much as the sun can actually damage us, it provides more life than it hurts. Okay, it affects every aspect of our lives, and we just don't recognize it. It truly does. Without the sun, what would anything be? We wouldn't be here, right? And you could take it further and start really breaking it down into micro conversations there, and really get into all that. But the sun really does affect us, and it affects us biologically, even when we don't think that it is. Right now, I'm going through something with my wife. She has cancer. I'll just share that with you. I shared it with you already before, and unfortunately, it is a very aggressive one, and it's on a part of her body that it's on her ear. So it's not something that is crazy, crazy. It is crazy, crazy, but I just don't want to get into detail there. But anyway, the reason I bring that up when I'm talking about the sun is because when we were kids, our parents really didn't recognize that we needed sunscreen as much as we do. So I remember, and she remembers the same thing, just getting burnt to a crisp when I was a kid. And and the doctor did say that, yeah, it's damaged your skin. It's probably a main culprit in why she's going through what she's going through. She's going to have surgery here in the next few weeks. And just to be honest with you guys, I haven't been here the past couple of days because we got more crazy news about her health, about something else and I'm not going to get into what that is right here. It just is not. I'm not doing it right now. I would just shut the freaking thing off for now. It's really got me in a bad place. And I come here with you guys because it does bring me out of that. So I do thank you for that. It's one of those things that if I can get myself here, because I want to be here every day, and I'm going to be. I'm making myself do it, because I know I feel better after, because you guys are just that way. And I do appreciate that. You guys have stuck with me for so long. Hey, Planet Hermit, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. That's a gifted membership, guys. If you guys got a gifted membership from Planet Hermit there, please say thank you. They almost every time, every live stream, it's like without fail. I just can't tell you how much I really do appreciate that. And so it's awesome. But anyway, we will be doing a members only stream. I was had it planned out for tonight, and the timing of things that I'm involved with here on the internet didn't work out exactly how I thought it was going to. So it's probably going to be better if I push it to tomorrow. I will do a members only stream before I do a regular live stream tomorrow. If that's all I get done tomorrow's members only stream, I'm doing that. Okay, just so you guys know. And I may even do two. If my wife will be going to work tomorrow, when she goes to work, I might do one in the morning, and I'm definitely doing one in the evening. It's been a really hard time for a lot of YouTubers, and so a lot of people are experimenting with different times, like Marfugel. They've got to do what they got to do. You know what I mean? So we're going to be here to support them as much as they supported us, and that's just a bunch. Okay, so as I move forward here, guys, I don't want to go back to that conversation. That's why I went ahead and just said it now. I will not be repeating that every time I come on here. I need a break. I need a break from reality for a minute and come here with you guys. So thank you for allowing me to do that, and thank you for just being here. Simple as that. I just don't know what to say sometimes. I really, yeah. There's not a word that can express how grateful and how humbled I am that you guys even want to hear this redneck hillbilly talk about space weather. And to consistently be here and support like you guys do. So just know that it's appreciated, it's noticed, and I love all of you guys. So thank you. All right. So anyway, magnetic rope right here. Okay, you see these dark filaments. Now I could, depending on what kind of display you're looking at, if you're, a lot of people are probably looking at this on their phone. You're going to be able to see this one on your phone, even if it is a small screen. It's a big eruption. This is a very, very large filament that erupted off the sun. Now, with that being said, we are quote unquote lucky, I guess. If that's a very large one, guys. If that was coming directly at Earth, we would be talking G3 storm at least. That's a very, very, and what I'm going to do here, I am going to zoom in for you, and we'll take a closer look at this. And we're going to talk about the satellites here in a few minutes too. I needed to do that at the beginning so I could get. I tried to do an overview right when I first come on, I got that advice from Dex, and that's some really good advice. The first 30 seconds of your video is very important on how much your reach gets out. I didn't realize that, and you know that's what kind of people I hang around with. They're there to help, and they're willing to give me their time and give me advice. It just is amazing, but it turned around the view counts and stuff on my videos. It really did. Because I was doing an intro and people asked me, where'd your cool intro go? Well, I got rid of that because that reason right there. People would come in for 15, 20 seconds and bolt out. They would never make it past the intro. So this is why I do this. Now I may start doing a 30-second or whatever minute long kind of overview, and then maybe do a 10-second intro. You know what I mean? And then Martha actually does that. So I may try that too in the future, but we'll see. But you can see, guys, there's multiple magnetic ropes. These are called filaments. And it's just like a filament in an old incandescent light bulb. It truly is. Anybody around my age, and a lot of you guys are, because I've looked at the demographics. Bunch of middle-aged people here. And that's okay. That's what I want. And I want everybody. I hope to tap into the youth a little bit so we can give them some knowledge and stuff, you know, but you know, they're stuck on the minute or less videos, which really sucks for those guys, because that's all they ever watch, you know, and those are good things, because you can pack a lot of info in that kind of time frame if you really try and you know what you're doing, and it's good for getting mass amounts, short little snippets, but you know, when you have a whole platform of that, I do think it's a mistake. It shortens attention spans. It simply does. Now, I do shorts here too sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody doing shorts. I think you should continue if you're doing that. It's just, you know, things change through the world, and sometimes we have to just change with it to, you know, keep up. And I think, unfortunately, that might be one of those things. And it can be fun. Shorts are fun. Well, Miss Dragon, if she's in here, I'm not sure if she's here right now, but she'll attest to that. Guys, if you guys don't know who Miss Dragon is, you need to get over to her channel. That's positivity wrapped up in 1 minute. I'm not kidding you. You will laugh, you will get positive, everything over there. It is awesome. If I could get one of my mods to put her link down in there, that would be awesome. Hey, Deep Quake, good to see you, bud. Appreciate you. Okay, Surgery, Stephen, Dorothy, good to see everybody here, guys, really. Hey, Vicky, my internet mama. Good to see you. I seen Cemetery in here last show too. Hey, Steven. Good guys. Hey, Jerry. Good to see you. I got to turn back to the monitor here. Sorry, I got to get back. I'm gonna get this space weather news out, and then we can chat at the end. Anyway, you got this magnetic filament here that just ripped off. This is a big one. I'm telling you. They don't. The magnetic filaments that he ripped off don't. The eruption part of it doesn't get much bigger than what you're seeing here. You're talking significant geomagnetic storming if that was to hit Earth. It's not going to. It's going to our west. When you're looking at the sun, guys, east-west is reversed. They do that. They want you to pretend you're standing on the surface looking out. I'm not really sure why, what the purpose of that was. I know there has to be a reason for it. I just don't know what it is. And that's okay. But I just know when somebody says the west limit of the sun, they're actually talking about the right side of the sun. Okay? Not like looking at a map. You say the west end, looking at a map, flat map. You know what I'm talking about, guys? GPS. It's to your left, right? But I also want to point out this too. This over here, this area of the sun that's incoming, I think we need to watch very, very closely. Okay? You're going to see a big eruption here. Here, it's getting ready to come, I think. It's about the time right after that one happened. So look over here. See that? That was a longer, I know it looked kind of short there. That was kind of a longer duration eruption of a lot of plasma getting shot out into space. It didn't look like this plasma filament because it was not a filament. Okay? This was just a centralized eruption. See that? So there was probably a flare involved with that also. We just couldn't see it because it's behind the limb here. So just understand that too. When we're talking about flares and the levels of those flares, they're measured by X-ray. And we can't really tell exactly where the X-rays are coming from specifically on the sun unless it's just one sunspot. And that ain't going to happen, right? So we get these X-ray readings, and yeah, they could kind of tell what's coming from where, because you can get, like, you know, delta gamma readings and things like that to see how powerful, what kind of energy these sunspots are holding magnetically. But, you know, when you got sunspots all over the front of the sun, the baseline of X-ray moves up. And I can show you that real quick here. This is NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center. This is the official forecasting place for space weather. This is what everybody uses. This is the standard, and this is what we go off of. So when we're looking at this, up here, this is solar X-ray flux. This is measurements of X-ray. There was 19 M-class flares in like 2 to 3 days. That's amazing. That's a lot, guys. We went from almost hardly any flares at all for like a week to like this bam. And that's how fast things can change on the sun. The sun can do what it wants, when it wants, and how it wants to do it. I say that all the time. But when I talk about baseline, just to give you kind of a contrasting view here, when we're looking at this up here is C-class flare range. We are staying in C-class flare range right now. So, why is that important to understand? In solar minimum, it's down here. So when we get a decent sized flare in solar minimum, we consider a C-class flare a decent sized flare. We are staying at that level consistently right now because of where we're at in the solar cycle. It's very normal, okay? But this is what happens. So when we get just little bumps from little blasts of X-ray from the sun, those are M-class flares. So an M-class flare is an R1, that's where the radio blackout conditions start, okay? When I say radio blackout, I'm talking about like ham radio, shortwave radio, those kinds of things, okay? Now, space weather affects GPS too. First responders use both systems now. Most of them have both because when one's jacking up, the other one typically isn't. But when you get bigger solar storms, they both jack up, okay? So if we want to see what kind of radio blackouts we're having, we come down here to the D region, and this model will show you the absorption of it, what's getting absorbed in that region of our atmosphere here. So we get these like bullseye dartboard looking signatures, and when you get an increase there, you can measure it over here too if you want to see the actual measurement. That's I think that's millihertz, and that's I'm not sure what's the dB there. I don't think it's decibel. I'm not really sure what that is, what a measurement that actually is. But anyway, I'm gonna look that up. I should know that. That's embarrassing. I should know what that is. I show you guys this all the time. See, that's what I'm saying. I learn every time I come on here too. So, so you guys just watch me be an idiot. So, but I'm not afraid to be. I'm not afraid to be wrong as long as I can get it right. Hey, Micaiah, thank you for that. 10 gifted memberships. You guys are rocking it, man. Thank you so much. That is so cool. So cool. Thanks, guys. I truly do appreciate that. You have no idea. I bet you guys do. I hate it when people say that too. You have no idea, right? Like, you can't understand what's going on in my life, that kind of thing. Let me tell you something. You guys can all understand what I'm going through just like I can understand what you are. So, I try not to say that. I say it because there's no other words to express how humble I feel and how grateful I am. So, thank you for that. And anybody that got those, please tell them thanks. I really do appreciate it. So, and I don't mean to be condescending when I say things like that either. Oh, you know, you're never going to hear me come out here and say, oh, poor is me. That's not something I'm going to ever do. If I ever do that, one of my moderators better yank me up and smack me back and get me back awake. Because, I tell you. Anyway, so when you get this blast from these X-rays, it's always on the day side of the sun. Day side of the Earth, I mean. Obvious, right? You got to be facing the Earth for X-ray to hit it. Whatever part's facing the sun. The X-ray get here in 8 minutes. It's light, guys. It's traveling at the speed of light. So when you look up at the sun, you're seeing what the sun actually looked like 8 minutes ago. Wrap your brain around that one real quick. We oftentimes think of those things, but we usually kind of, put together things that are way outside of our solar system when we're talking like that kind of a distance, right? No, right here inside of our solar system, the inner solar system. What we see when we look at the sun is what it looked like 8 minutes ago. The light we get to our eyeballs left the sun 8 minutes before we see it. Those kinds of little snippets of stuff is what blows my mind sometimes. But anyway, so we get these, and so we start getting these radio blackouts that kind of just circle around, right? Now, the planet's 70% water. So, chances are it's going to happen over a large body of water. But look how it spreads out, okay? So when we get a bigger flare, it affects people. And people are like, well, it only lasts for about an hour. Well, yeah, the major part of the radio blackouts typically are very short-lived. But take in consideration this. What if your parents, I don't know, maybe they lived across town, or maybe they lived in a different state, and we had one of these big old flares that happened, right? And God forbid, your dad or your mom has a heart attack 10 minutes before that happened. Right? And then the first responders are using that communication to get to people's houses. That's going to delay them, guys. And there's so many people over 9 billion people on the planet now. So you can't tell me that doesn't happen sometimes, because it absolutely does. Plus, we get, just radio degradation it makes it hard on everything. Aviation, just everything. Our mariners, guys, out here in the water, like I said. The boats, the crab fishermen, the fishermen, period. The ones that are out here are getting affected by that. So it affects real people, and it does real things. Now, again, most first responders will have GPS also. But oftentimes when that's happening, it's happening to both. So, I'm not sure did anybody ever watch that movie Stranger Things? It's fairly new. It was like 7 or 8 seasons. And at one point they were actually talking about ham radio. It was a big part of that. I think it was the first season. They rushed out real quick and was going out in the middle of the field trying to be able to communicate with ham radios. And they had a solar flare during the movie. They actually said they had a solar flare and it affected their radio propagation. So this stuff is real, guys. So just understand that. And I hope that we can take it a little bit more serious in the future when we're talking about this stuff. But, it is what it is. It's not a catastrophe, right? I get that. But when we start getting into X-class flares, then we'll start talking about, having CMEs that are really, really big also. Now, the sunspots, this is what we got currently, right? And, okay, I'm going to stop right there for 1 second, because I want to make sure you guys see what I want you guys to see. Okay, so here's this coronal hole that I started with, right? Same thing's going to happen that happened last week. We're going to enter this coronal hole stream, and solar wind is going to increase in speed and density. We're going to connect to this thing. We probably already are, and it's probably going to put us into geomagnetic storming at some point. We got really close last week, because of just this. Our Magnetosphere movies, they were doing some of the craziest things I've ever seen them. Okay, this is our magnetosphere, and it's generated by space weather interacting with our magnetic field. Okay, it'll make the Earth right here in the middle look like it's a comet, because it stretches out kind of like a tail, right? And that's because the space weather is moving left to right. Now, I showed you guys a video from if I can get it in here, I'll show it to you. Hey, J-Paz, good to see you, bud. Hey, Wise Jen. Guys, give me a roll call while you guys are in there real quick, if you would. I would really appreciate that. Oh, sweet. It's going to let me do it. Awesome. I couldn't do this yesterday for some reason. But check this out, guys. So before I show you this, let me finish up what I was saying here. I'm sorry I squirreled there a little bit. But you can see how this is the bow shock, first point of contact of solar wind and our magnetic field. See how the pressure builds? Now, you know, you also can kind of tell direction here too. When you see that moving like that, what that's telling you is our BZ is probably moving a little bit too. And the BZ has to be at -6, which is kind of, see the Z here? So if we get to a -6, that means that we're pointed magnetically oriented to allow space weather in easier. Now, do you see this up here? See how this is kind of red and this isn't here? That's showing you. Now, see our poles? You see how these are kind of looped out right there? Our poles are here. Where's the stuff coming in at, guys? Do you see where it's... Here, I'm going to pause this because I've never done this for you, I don't think. Not like I'm doing it now. Okay, you see how that's red? That's magnetic pressure. Where's it coming in at? You see how it's not coming in here, right? It's coming in on the poles. It's very clear here. As you can see it, right there. So that right there tells you that the magnetic positioning or orientation, negative, positive, if we get to -6, that right there is showing you, hey, we're open to it. Why? Because look, because when we're pointed magnetically a certain direction, if we're more open to the magnetic fields inside of what's coming at us, if we're pointing more at them, then it's just going to get sucked in. It's really going to put us, you know, really, really high up. It's going to hit us. It's going to hit us hard, right? So, you know, it's, and with bigger flares, not flares, bigger CMEs. Flares and CMEs are two different things. They figured that out during the Carrington event in 1859. Back before that, they thought they were both the same event. They're not. Dr. Carrington and another scientist actually seen it with the solar filter. You know, they were using solar filters kind of like this. Okay, not the same thing, but you guys can imagine, I guess. So they were using that, and they were able to figure out, hey, a flare and a CME happened at 2 different times, but from the same area. Okay? So an X-flare will disrupt things in a major way, obviously. So when things become more unstable, guess what happens? Well, then it erupts after that. That's why we thought it was the same, because it happens almost simultaneously sometimes. But not always. We can get CMEs without flares. Look, right here. This is a perfect example. There is no sunspot here, right? When this filament rope erupts off, what is that? Watch. Here it goes. Right here. It's happening. There it goes. Boom. That's a CME. There is no X-ray being flushed off right there. That is a CME. No sunspot required. Okay? So I just want to make sure that we understand that. It's important to know the difference. Because you can have a big flare. We've had X-flares with no CMEs. So you get the radio propagation, degradation, right? With the X-flare, but then you don't get the geomagnetic storming 2 to 3 days later. Because there was no CME or plasma shot out into space at Earth. And then vice versa here. We didn't get any X-ray burst, but we sure as heck got a lot of plasma erupting off, right? But the chances of CMEs are greatly increased around flare activity. That's why we always thought they were the same thing up until then. But it's good that we understand that they're not. So I haven't said that in a while. I'm sorry if I bored some people there. I don't mean to. It's not my intent. Michaela, sorry about that, guys. I completely missed the stinking... hold on a minute here, guys. 1 second. I completely missed Michaela there. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Awesome. 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 That's awesome sauce, baby. I appreciate that. And then you got the 10. Didn't you get 10 memberships or something too earlier? I thought you did. If you didn't, that's okay. I must have missed it. Wow. Well, thank you. But I just want to make sure. Yeah, I think you did twice there. Okay, or something. I must be missing something. I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, thank you for that. I know Planet Hermit did too. So thank you for Okay, so anyway, back to this. I want to make sure that we understand all that. So, when we get hit with things, this is why we pay attention to what we pay attention to. Now, given that we know that stuff moves left to right from the sun through and hits our magnetic field, and we get this magnetosphere that's created, right, because of it, anything inside our protection, our magnetic field, is going to be less activity. Now, why do we get pressure on the back and not in the front? I get that question a lot. Well, when we get hit in the front, I might be able to show it to you right here. Maybe. Yeah, kind of. You see how we got hit in the front and everything increased? Now, what happens is there's magnetic field lines here that get broke or disconnected. They're kind of flopping around, and then they get kind of pushed back here, and then they reconnect. So when they reconnect from this direction, where's it going to reconnect to? The backside. So any kind of magnetic particles are there, which are all the highly charged particles, right? They're going to grab that magnetic connection line and just slam right in the back of Earth. That's exactly what happens here. That's why you see a lot of pressure on the backside. Those are reconnection events. Okay? So you've heard me say that a lot, but I want to make sure people understood. Now, because we know all that, I'm going to show you this. Now, you're going to see something. I'm still trying to figure out what happened here. And I'll explain it to you. Right there is where it happened. So let me just tell you what happens before you see it. Okay, that way you can watch it and understand what I'm saying. I just told you guys the stuff came from left to right, right? From the sun. Now, we do get space weather from the back sometimes, like cosmic rays and stuff like that, okay? And the reconnection event that I talked about a second ago. But what you're going to see here is a magnetic, I don't know what to call it, a magnetic discharge of some sort of our magnetic field pushing back in all directions from a center point like here. I've not seen it do that. Not in this model at all, ever. So when I play this, what you're going to see, it's like somebody threw a rock in the middle of the magnetic pond here, and it just rippled out very, very consistently, like a rock, like a wave would when you throw a rock out in the middle of a calm lake. Okay? So watch what happens. And if anybody knows what this is, please, for the love of God, tell me. You see that? Because we didn't get hit in the front first. That's what is confusing me. We didn't get hit in the front. Now, this is going to run back. I ran it. This is recorded. I ran this back a few times and just recorded it so we could see it. You see what's happening here? I still don't know. Now, you're going to ask me, well, why isn't it going out past our bow shock? Well, because it's inside of our bow shock. It pushes our bow shock out. Watch what happens. See that? What in the world caused that? I don't know. I truly just don't know. If anybody has any ideas, please email me. Also, I seen a spiral effect that happened with the pressure here. Watch what happens. You'll see it after I quit doing that. But I want you guys to really look at this, because this is not a normal. Okay, there it is. Let me back it up a little. This is not what we normally see. You see how this is spiraled? How you got dead in between there? Like this is spiraling in. And I don't want to say we got hit from the top or the bottom or the side, because I don't think we did. This is inside of our magnetosphere, guys. This did not come from outside. That's what I'm trying to say. This something happened. And I don't know what it was, but this model picked something up. Now, there's also a chance that it could be a flaw in the model. I don't want to just glaze over that fact, because you would have people out here that would do that intentionally just so it made it look all crazy on purpose, right? I'm not going to do that to you. I don't do that. So I want everything to be taken into consideration here. What is causing this? I don't want to just disregard something new. and I don't want to disregard what we already know either. Okay? So we're not going to bash mainstream, and we're not going to bash alternative. We're just looking for what happened. That's what I'm doing. So, you know, if somebody actually has some sort of scientific explanation on what happened there, I would love to know. I'm serious when I say that. That way, if it happens again, I'll be able to tell other people, hey, this is what happened. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. All right, give me another roll call in there, guys. I'm so sorry. I really jacked that one up. I apologize. Wow. I completely forgot about it. Okay, but anyway, we got an Aurora forecast here too, guys. You guys can come over here to Space Weather Prediction Center, like I said earlier. If you scroll down to the bottom, okay, you'll be able to see all the models pretty much that I use. They're down here at the bottom of any NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center webpage. Okay? But you can go over here to dashboards. If you want to know the pertinent models to look at, just click on the dashboard stuff over here. If you want to see what the Aurora stuff's going on, hit Aurora. If you want to see radio, satellites, space weather, all that stuff. The space weather one here, Space Weather Enthusiast, that's the one we're on right here. And I'm getting ready to show you the Aurora one here in just a second. But I wanted to show you this too. This is the Enlil Spiral. This is a CME tracker. This is NOAA. This gives us 2 days historic data, and it tries to forecast out 5 days in advance. Last time this was updated was on the 3rd. So this is not current, but back on the 3rd we did have an eruption that they were saying is going to hit between the 7th and the 8th. Okay? And I'm going to show that to you real quick, just so we can kind of know. So there's the eruption right there. That's a CME. And I showed this to you already, but then it's saying that it's going to hit here. So, you know, going into 2 days from now is when we should be looking for that. Okay? So that could put us up into geomagnetic storms. Not sure. Okay? It could or it couldn't. It doesn't, you know, there is no just exact thing. That's why I nowcast. I don't try to forecast because it's wrong most of the time. It's never completely accurate. It's like trying to forecast hurricanes or regular weather here on our planet. Hey, Wise Jen, good to see you. All right. What's up, Big Chase? Good to see you. What we got here? There it is. Michaela, the 10 gifted memberships. I knew you did that earlier. I think my chat is jacked up. What's going on here? There we go. Now it's better. Okay. Bothell, Washington. What's up, Heidi? Good to see you. We're going. Hey, I know you bought some memberships. We're going to be doing the members only tomorrow. So look for that, guys. Anybody that's a member. Indiana, Virginia, Kathy B. Northwest Rockies, Arkansas, Jerry. Good to see you, girl. Gina Kane from Florida. Jenny Ball. I seen you in here way early before the show even started. Well, thank you. Thank you for praying for me. I'll take it all. I'm telling you. Please. Anybody wants to pray for me, I never tell them no. Never. Thunder snow? Yeah. I was getting ready to comment on that, Jammer. Thank you for pointing that out. If you were to look out my window right now, guys, everything I'm looking at is covered with ice. We've had some pretty decent freezing rain here the past few hours, and Jammer's talking about thunder snow. It's when you get thunder snow, you guys have to understand that's intense. Okay? It takes. Hey, good day, Sarcastic. Good to see you. Stephen A. But yeah, so thunder and Stephanie, I seen you in here too. Good to see everybody. We're St. John, Norfolk, Virginia. Love it. Tiger's Eye. Hello, possums. That's right. That's right. Wisconsin's where Wise Jen. Heck yeah, girl. Oh, goodness. Gabrielle. Hi, Mark from that Pacific Northwest, PNW. I had to think about that for a second. Gina Kane. Wow. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, freezing rain is the worst, isn't it, Planet Hermit? You know, ice, guys, that's one thing that us as humans have not figured out how to beat when it comes to, like, car wrecks and things like that. because you just can't see it most of the time. My in-laws about lost their life leaving my house one time, going back down to Tennessee where they live. They actually hit black ice and went backwards down 75 off a cliff. Oh man, I tell you. And it was black ice. There was nothing he did wrong. It just happened. And he got lucky that somebody seen him go down the cliff. Because they when they stopped, they were upside down. And it was bad. It was bad. Luckily, they weren't like critically injured. They were hurt, but not like life-threatening. So God was with them for sure. All right. So the Aurora, guys, that's, this is the forecast. I don't think we're going to get too much of that in the next couple days. But if that CME does hit, and it puts the one that I showed you guys here, if that does hit, the Aurora will increase when the coronal hole stream gets here from where did I put it at? Here. From that coronal hole, that could put us into geomagnetic storming also. If any of these other eruptions, if we get any more eruptions, now I seen one here on the end of this run too. So I'm going to pause this and show it to you. Look right in here. There's going to be an eruption. Pretty sure anyway. I thought I seen it. Maybe I didn't. Might have been on some other part of the sun. I don't know. Let's see. Well, it wasn't that significant if it was. So anyway, we still have these other areas to watch. Okay? So we're definitely going to be watching those. And I'll be giving you all that. Now, satellites. Guys, this is something we're going to have to deal with for the rest of our lives. And that's the only reason why I'm even bringing you this story the way that I am. And it's only going to get worse as far as how many satellites are falling out of the sky per day. Deep Quake actually popped in there and actually early on before the stream started and put that stat in the chat box. In January alone, we've had 120 Starlinks that were deorbited. That's a really nice way of saying, hey, we made them crash. Or we made them fall out of the sky. 120 of them. You divide that by 30, what do you get? That's 4 a day. Now, understand that they designed these things. And again, the first thing I would say, 70% of the planet is water. So, chances are, if something was to actually make it to the ground, it's going to hit water. That's just something that we always have to take in consideration. But they also designed these Starlink satellites to break up and not actually be of any substance at all by the time they get to the surface, if they ever make it there. Now, I would say this, and this is a question that I've had. I'm not sure if they've even talked. I'm not sure if they're talking about it here or not. But this is spaceweather.com, by the way, Dr. Tony Phillips' website. Please come over here and check this out. It's an awesome website, great information. I show you guys, and almost everybody in the community comes to this webpage every day. Hey, John, good to see you, bud. Good to see everybody. You guys are making my night here. You really are. Thank you for being here. You really have upped my mood already, so thank you. And it's not your guys' responsibility to do that. I just want you guys to know that it does do that for me, and it's appreciated. So, anyway, so yeah, when these satellites break up, even though they don't make it to the ground, guys, they don't disintegrate into nothing, right? You can't take something and make it nothing. So there's going to be some sort of particles that are left of some sort. They've got to collect somewhere. I don't think they're going to make it out of our atmosphere, seeing how the satellite itself fell out of it. So we got to understand that this is adding stuff to our atmosphere. Now, it may through time work its way down and, and filter through like everything else does. You guys have heard me talk about noctilucent clouds, right? The blue metallic looking clouds that hang around the poles. Why do they hang around the poles? Because it has to be extremely cold. What is a noctilucent cloud? How's it made? I'm going to show it to you here. This is his graph that he uses. And this actually used to be a lot better, but the satellite that they put up there to monitor it actually no longer works. And it was actually almost like brand new. So, with that being said, noctilucent clouds are made from water vapor that freezes around meteor dust that hangs around our poles. You guys ever wonder why it hangs around our poles? It's magnetics. Meteor dust most likely is going to have some sort of metallic part to it, right? Whether it be iron or whatever metal comes from space, whatever wherever it came from. That's why it happens around the poles, because that's where the magnetics are the strongest as far as negative and positive. Now, with that being said, with these satellites that fall out of the sky, wouldn't it make sense that somewhere along the line there that's going to start affecting things? I don't know, and it may not even affect things in a way that's going to be substantial at all for hundreds of thousands of years. Who knows? I don't know. It's just a question I'm asking. That's all. I don't have an answer for it. So, yeah, I just talked about something I don't have an answer for. That tells you right there how I'm not afraid to make mistakes and how I'm not afraid to not know something and learn. And thank you guys for allowing me to do that right in front of you. It really does. I learn a lot every time I just go live from you guys mainly. Also, our headless comet Atlas, that's gone now. Well, it's still there a little bit. I don't want to stay on these pictures a whole lot here, but this is Comet that was 18 years ago. This right here is Comet. That's McNaught. This is Atlas right here. See how it's coming out of the looks like it's coming out of the chimney. That's the comet tail that was still in the sky. They just got a picture from that angle. Who got that? Cooper was the person that Ian Cooper of Glenora, New Zealand got those. So he got both comets. That's cool. Because that's like what? Gosh, that's 17 years apart? Something like that? Wow. That's impressive. Good job, man. Not that you'll ever hear me say that, because you ain't going to be watching my channel probably, but, it is what it is. Ian Cooper, good job, man. Awesome. It's freaking awesome. Anyway, but, we're talking about these Starlink re-entries per day. You see how they just jumped up? Look at this. In 2020, how many do we have? Hardly any. 2021, we started seeing some, then boom, boom, and then now we're here. So, it's just going to keep increasing the more and more they put up there. Sorry, that's just what's going to happen. Hey, Daryl, good to see you. That was pretty neat, wasn't it? I thought that was cool. I don't want to stay on that very long. Not because I can't show it to you, because it is fair use, because I'm talking about it, and, I'm not just showing you the picture and then re-uploading the picture, right? I want you guys to come over here and look at it, because these guys do the work, and they really do deserve the traffic. So even if you take 30 seconds, please come over here and check this out. If one of you guys could put the link in the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so guys, don't have much more. Obviously, I've actually been talking here for quite some time. Pretty much staying on space weather. It's been a while since I've been able to do that. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for everything that you guys do. Thank you for the gifted memberships. I will be doing the memberships only tomorrow. I will do that. That takes priority tomorrow over any regular video I would do, because I haven't done a members only in like over 2 weeks. So I try to do one once a week, and you guys, I've already talked about all that. I'm not going to get into that right now, but thank you guys, and anybody that's been here, Thank you, anybody that's got memberships. Anybody that doesn't, please consider becoming one, because we are not, you guys can see how much of a family we are right here. It gets even more over there, because we can talk a little bit more deeper in things, because I'm not bound by just trying to stay on point. Okay, we have fun. That's the point of it. We have fun. We get to know each other. We laugh, because it's needed. Laughter is needed. I'm telling you, even when you're going through bad crap like all of us are, it's needed. Right? It really truly is. It's like a palate cleanser. It truly is. I'm not just saying that. That's how it works for me. We're just walking around eating the meal called life, and we need that palate cleanser so we can taste something new. If you know what I'm saying, guys. So I love all you guys, and I'm going to leave you guys with this right here. We're going to be watching the sun like we always do. Please check out everybody I always shout out. Adam's going through a lot of bad mouth stuff. Marfugal seems like he's getting a little bit better now, but he's still got a long journey ahead too. So let's support over there too. I know that most of you guys already know who Marfugal is. Some of you probably don't. That's just how the internet works. Okay, so please give it a chance. Go over and check out Marfugal, and anybody else. Go to my page and go to my awesome channel list. You'll see everybody there. Axe and Nacho. You'll laugh your head off and have a great musical time going to their channel, their live streams. Mark Pyers, another one. You're gonna get lots of laughs, and just everybody there, everybody down there in that. I don't know, I'm missing some people. Ripper, Tommy, everybody. Okay, so just get down there, check out that channel list, and give it all a shot. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I know it's getting kind of late, guys. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being who you are and allowing me to have the time I need to process things. I've talked about that already. If you want to know what I'm talking about, maybe go back and watch a little bit of this earlier or the video before. We still got a long road ahead of us. I don't think it's going to be the worst of things, but I'll just say this. She's my best friend and has been since I married her. We've been married for 30 years, and when anything bad happens to her, I would argue it probably hurts me worse, because I can't fix it. And I gotta go. Anyway, guys, so God bless. Yahusha saves, and as always, you